Hey everybody, this is Dave Blair, and I want to talk about Forza Motorsport 8. So we can't talk about Forza Motorsport 8 without talking about the Xbox Series X. Today is April 15th of 2020, and I'm going to give my predictions on Forza Motorsport 8, and I believe it'll be launching with the new Xbox Series X in holiday of 2020. I think this will be a game changer because the Series X Xbox is going to have a better CPU this time around. I believe that will allow Turn 10 to make Forza more of a simulation than it has been in the past. That's my hope anyway. My first prediction for the next Forza Motorsport 8 is it will not be called Forza Motorsport 8. I think what it'll be called is Forza Motorsport Generations. My hope is that they will focus on motorsport and allow Forza Horizon to be more of the car collection game, and Forza Motorsport will just concentrate on race cars. When Forza Motorsport 7 came out, they came out with these homologated divisions, and the community didn't really like it. They preferred the straight A, B, C class divisions, and what we ended up with in the end was a compromise where they brought back all the A, B, C class divisions, and they kept a few of the homologated divisions. I think this is going to be one of the differences going forward in the next Forza Motorsport, which I'll call Forza Motorsport Generations, even though I don't know that's what it'll be. I have no insider information. I just want to be clear on that. Now, you had the classic Street Muscle division. That's one that I like. I see starting here at the beginning, this Aerial Nomad. I expect that to go away. That's more of a Forza Horizon type thing. I think the Street Muscle cars should go away. That's, again, all these, the ones I say will go away, I think should be in the Horizon game, not in the Motorsport game. Your early prototype racers here, I think there will be a division. Again, Generations, I'm thinking, if they concentrate on the road racing and oval racing to begin with, I think those are the two things that we're going to be looking at. This early sport luxury division can go away. Sport touring can go away. Same the elite factory racers. Unless they're race car, specific race cars, maybe they stick around and they find a home somewhere. Same with the exotic GT. I believe we're going to have Gt3 racing, GT4, and I'll get to that. Fast and Furious, that's going to go away. So the Formula 70s, they already have the 70s here. They've got the 90s, and they also have some Formula cars of today. I do think they're going to keep some Formula Drift. I think the Fujimi track, the Japanese mountain track, will be coming back for drifters, and some other maybe point-to-point tracks for drifting. I think, there's a lot of people that enjoy that. They'll keep some of that in. Same thing with the Formula E. I think that'll be a division. And I believe what they're going to do is concentrate on online racing. They're going to try and compete with Gran Turismo Sport type racing. The esports is going to be heavy. I see this car possibly staying in as a entry-level open wheeler. Same with this one. It might stay in here. Again, these are race cars, so I expect them to stay. Here's your modern, what I would call F1 type racing cars. So I believe you're going to have open wheelers for road racing and Indy Cars for oval racing. I think possibly we will see some kind of rally racing or stadium racing type things in the next title, but I think that might be an add-on. I don't think it'll be there in the beginning. Okay, so obviously you're going to have your GT cars. Here's a GT4, your GTE. Here's another GT4 and your GT3. Again, I think these will be heavily featured All your GT3s, GT4s, things like that are going to be featured in your road style. Same with your LMP1, LMP2 type cars. They'll be there. These are all race cars. Maybe we get in even some more of the multi-class racing. Again, I expect the Forza Motorsport to have a high emphasis on race cars this time. All these things will go away. The touring cars, they'll get their own division. Again, they have a lot of cars in here. The trophy trucks, again, if they do some type of stadium or Baja type racing or something like that, I could see that these could be implemented, especially if they have some stadium type racing. GT Reborn will definitely be there. Again, Forza Motorsport Generations. Here's 90s. You're going to have probably some 80s. And they'll all be broken down, I think, by certain class. Again, road, and it'll be 80s, 90s, the 2000s. Here's the historic. I think you're going to see these. I would love a historic racing class because, you could go back and race these cars. I grew up with 70 muscle cars, and, I really appreciate these cars. And, again, I'm not sure that they'll go back, to the 50s and 60s. That might be an expansion thing that they look at, but definitely the 70 muscle cars will probably get their own division. All right, again, the Hoonigan, maybe for drifting. You might see those. I'm not sure about that. These hot hatches will go. Again, these belong in Horizon. Same thing with the hot rods. Unless they have, the drag strip, you might see some of these hot rods if they keep the drag racing, because I know they did implement some drag racing, so we'll see. The hypercar, I'm not sure they're going to get their own racing division. They might be left to Forza Horizon. Indy Car, you're definitely going to have the Indy Car. And again, these are going to be featured in oval tracks, obviously. The micros are going to go away. You might get a Mazda Cup car race, something like iRacing, maybe. That could be a possibility. I enjoyed racing these Mercedes-Benz racing trucks, but there were no lobbies online. You had to kind of set up your own thing. The SimPit crew, we did one of these races. It was fun. Modern hatch, again, those are going to go, I believe, Forza Horizon route. I doubt we'll see these. I don't know. Again, I don't have any insider information. Trucks are going to go. SUVs are going to go. NASCAR will be here in the Forza Motorsport 8 or Forza Motorsport Generations. I don't see how you don't focus. They're going to focus on oval and road racing to start, I believe. So you're going to have your open wheelers oval. You're going to have your NASCAR type oval. And again, they'll do different generations going all the way back to probably 70s, 80s, 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. Again, here's your drag racers. If they decide to keep their drag race strip, you might have this, but it's really not that popular, and I don't know if it will stick around. I'm not sure about that, but they may have drag racing. If so, they'll have these cars. All right, off-road buggies. Again, if they do the stadium or any type of Baja stuff, I predict that they will have a rally type thing, point-to-point races, as an expansion. I don't think it'll be coming in the beginning. Okay, and then here, I don't know if they'll have these to begin with. This might be, like I see, the 50s and 60s type of historic racing. Could be an expansion of its own. We'll see. That's going to go. Okay, and here's more of your historic race cars. And again, not sure if it's going to be there in the beginning, but it will definitely be there at some point. The Radical will probably be there. These are good race cars. Okay, and again, the Rally, if they go the Rally route, they will probably have these in there, and it'll probably be an expansion. I don't know if you're going to see this Rebirth of Muscle division. They're not really race cars, so I would say no, they don't belong. Same with the Rise of the Supercar. These are Forza Horizon, I think, now. Showroom Rally, yeah, these aren't true rally cars. They won't be there. Sport Compact won't be there. The Sport Icons won't be there. None of these divisions will be there. The Sport GT will definitely be there. There's your official pace car. But it'll be the race car version of these. So I'm not sure that these cars will be there. But the race car versions of them will be. And, in the GT3s, Sport Luxury won't be there. Sport Touring won't be there. Again, maybe in the race car division, you'll see these. I just think they'll be more focused on race cars, not all these other divisions. They're going to try and focus the community on specific car and tracks. I don't think that they're going to definitely change the lobby system, because the lobby system that they have is super slow. And I'll touch on that in a little bit. These cars will be here too. I think that there's a big Australian influence on these cars. So I don't see how they don't have these. Okay, and then, yeah, these might be included in an expansion. When they do different generations, they may add the early generation. Track Toys might get their own division. Not sure. Ultima, I'm not sure this car will be there. These cars will be there. Again, generations. But they are race cars, so they'll probably be there. The off-roaders won't be. These won't be there. These probably won't be there. And these probably won't be there. All right, so that pretty much covers what I think about the different homologated divisions. But they'll definitely have, your race cars will definitely be there. So I'm not worried about that. And your GT cars will definitely be there. Okay, so I think we're covered on the what I think will be the focus. It'll be race cars. So now we'll take a look at the multiplayer hopper system, which is awful. This is a terrible system that they have. But basically down here you have the homologated lobbies that they tried to go to. One of my favorites is the classic Street Muscle. Here you have Open Wheel Legends. So you're going to see similar lobbies to this. I think they're going to do away with the, they'll definitely do away with the E-Class. They'll try to focus everybody into specific racing divisions. Again, I think you're going to have your open wheel, road and oval, and then you'll have your regular cars, road and oval. So NASCAR and GT3 type road racing. They will do away with these different car classes by letter. My fear is that they'll try to keep these in here just to appease people, but I hope that they get rid of these classes and focus more on specific cars. Again, like your endurance Forza GT cars. This is a good lobby. Now, the other thing that they introduced in Forza Motorsport 7 is your outfits here, your driving gear. And I think that this will return. And I also think, I've heard rumors that it's going to be, there was some talk about the next Forza is going to be open world. And people were like, well, what are you going to do? Drive between racetracks? I don't believe that's going to be the case. I think, though, that you are going to have your regular avatar from the one that you create for the Xbox will be pulled into the game. You'll be able to put driver gear on your avatar. And I believe it's going to have the type of interaction where you can walk around. So if I go into an online lobby, I will spawn in as my driver in my outfit, and I should be able to walk around my paddock maybe look at my cars, or I'm not sure exactly how they'll do it. Again, will you be able to walk around and pick your car from your garage? Can you walk up to your crew chief and talk to your crew chief? I don't know how they're going to do it exactly, but when they say, when the rumor was that they're going to have an open world, my first thought was, oh, they're going to have a paddock area where you can walk around and look at other people's cars or something, something to basically kill time while the game loads or while you're getting ready. And I also think that you're going to be in there with other people, and you're going to be able to walk around and interact with other people. You'll be able to get into your car, take it out on the track, test it out before the race starts, and they'll probably go more into a scheduled race system over what the kind of rotating hopper that they have now. I think that you'll know that you're getting into a GT3 race at Spa, and you'll be able to talk to your crew chief. Maybe they talked about atmospheric conditions and tire pressure, new tire model, and things like that. So I don't know. Somehow there's going to be some kind of interaction with your crew chief, in my opinion, where you're going to help set up the car for the track that you're about to go on. You'll be able to go out and turn a few laps before the race starts. And that way it gives people time to come into the lobby and enter the race before the race starts, kind of the way iRacing has it, where you have like 30 minutes of practice before the race. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to have 30 minutes before the race, but, it's going to be some kind of different system, because the way it is now, where you just sit in the lobby waiting for other people to join, takes way too long. And the last thing that they want is for, people to sit there waiting to start to play the game. So there's going to be things for you to do before the race even starts. And again, I'm not sure how it's going to be, but that's just my guess at it. Okay, so we've talked about your avatar, your outfits, the possibility of the open world. Here we're taking a look at what I believe they're going to focus on. NASCAR, definitely. Again, I think you're going to have generations possibly. So, whether you're racing the NASCARs of today or the 80s or the 70s, I think it'll be there. And I think that, they really need to work on their sound on this game. Definitely Race Room has some of the best sounds, and ACC that's just come out. But one of the faults of Forza, both Forza Horizon and Motorsport, has been the sound. Again, we know that they're working on a new tire model, a new physics model. And this next Xbox has a better processor. So I think that they're going to be able to do a lot with the simulation and make a whole bunch of improvements. And I really think that if they focus again on road racing and oval racing and just focus on race cars, that they'll bring a lot of people into this game, and this is going to definitely turn some heads. So here's a look at the Indy Cars. This is Indy Car at Indianapolis, of course. Now, that's me. I put everything on unbeatable difficulty, all these clips that you're watching now, and I went out, and all these races were fantastic. They really improved their collision model. Matter of fact, I bumped into a couple cars on the Indy track just to see, could I recover from a collision, which I did. Definitely improved the collision model all the way around. I really like what they've done there. I also think that they're going to be shooting for a 4K 120 for the next Forza. Now, the one that this next Forza is supposed to come out on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X. So I assume that you're going to make some compromises on the Xbox One version. But the Xbox Series X version, I think, will have all the bells and whistles and be shooting for 4K 120 frames per second. So here's a look at Gt3 Cars going around Watkins Glen. What I'd really like to see them do is get rid of some of the fantasy tracks and get more of the real world tracks. Like, okay, Forza does not have the Red Bull Ring. How do you not have the Red Bull Ring? They don't have Imola. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Mosport, one of my favorite tracks. It's in iRacing. They definitely need that one. Phillips Island is a good track. Alton Park. Interlagos. Zandvoort. Zolder. Hungaroring. Mid-Ohio. Belle Isle. They used to have Twin Ring Motegi, and I think that they should get that one back, and Tsukuba. I think they should get that one back. But yeah, there's a lot of real-world tracks out there that they don't have. I mean, they do have quite a few. They have Silverstone and Sebring and Spa, Laguna Seca. All those are in Forza for those of you that don't know. But since I've been playing iRacing and Race Room and Assetto Corsa, there's a lot more real-world tracks that they need to get. And again, some of these could be brought with an expansion. Again, I feel like if they just focused on oval racing and road racing, GT3 on the road and historic cars on the road and open wheelers like F1 cars on the road, again, different generations. They could always come out with an expansion where they might cover the 50s, 60s, and 70s or something like that and add a couple tracks. But yeah, I just see it as an evolving thing going forward. Here's a quick look at Indy Cars. This is the Indy Car 90s. And it's going around Long Beach. One of the other things that they could improve on too is the replay system. So if they really want to tackle esport, or even if they want to help out YouTubers, and this goes for anybody that's making a racing game, give us an AI camera that is going to either one, capture the complete race, which would highlight all the incidents and accidents and make it easy for somebody to recap a race, or if you want to focus on a specific driver. So if I'm in a race, and I want it to focus on me and tell the story of that race from my perspective, that's what we need. We need an AI system that will highlight and have the right camera angles for each and every incident and basically highlight the race for us. It would save us a lot of editing work. Okay, so I think I've covered pretty much all my hopes and expectations and predictions for the next Forza Motorsport. Again, I think it'll be Forza Motorsport Generations. I think it'll focus on road racing, on the open wheeler side, and on the regular car side. I think they'll focus on race cars. I think it'll also cover the oval, so you'll be your NASCAR and your Indy Car type or open wheel of different generations. My fear is that they will dumb it down for the 8-year-olds, and no offense for any 8-year-old out there that races correctly, but most 8-year-olds just want the fastest car and they want to take it out on a track and drive as fast as they can, in which they usually end up wrecking. But anyway, I hope that they really focus on the simulation part. I wish that they would support VR. Haven't heard anything. I don't expect them to, but the fact that they're going to be on PC also. I made this prediction 2 years ago that Microsoft would be bringing their games to the PC. Matter of fact, I thought they were going to have some kind of relationship with Steam, which still may happen, but I predicted that like 2 years ago. You can go back and watch my E3 prediction videos. But yeah, I really wish that Microsoft would show everybody how to do VR correctly. And the best VR is the one where you're seated in a cockpit with your VR headset on, whether you're driving a car, flying a plane. They have that new flight sim coming out soon, And again, VR was not the main focus of it. Now they're using Bing Maps, and the thing looks fantastic, and it's all going to be, generated by the cloud using Bing Maps, and it looks fantastic. Really excited for that simulation flying title, but how you don't focus on VR with something like that is beyond me. It's the same thing if you're releasing a racing game or a flying game or any type of simulation type game where you're in a seated cockpit. How you don't think about incorporating VR is beyond me. You still have people trying to make these VR games where you're jumping and flailing around a room. That's not where VR shines. I don't understand why people don't get it. VR was made for driving a car. There's a new game coming out, Taxi Simulator, and again, I don't understand why they don't focus on driving games with VR. You take the original Driver game. That game was fantastic. I can't remember what year it came out, but as an avatar, you never got out of the car. You pick people up from a heist mission. They're robbing a bank. They get in your car. You drive them to. You have to lose the cops. That would be a perfect VR title. Just remake that game exactly the way it was, where you never get out of the car. You have cutscenes that you can watch in your VR headset. You never have to take your VR off. And, any type of driving game is great for VR. If they would just focus on, again, making the game tell the story and have you drive the car in VR. Again, getaway car, run from the cops. You can even have people shooting guns out the window if you wanted to, but you're the driver. With as much chaos going on as you could possibly imagine, but all in VR. I just think it would be fantastic. You could look around and see, where the action is. When they start focusing games and using VR where it's really good is when VR will start taking off. And again, I'm not talking about like a simulation racing game for VR, although that's fantastic. I'm talking about story-driven games where you have to drive. Again, like this Taxi Simulator sounds like a great game for VR. I'm not sure that they're focusing on VR. We'll find out when it comes out. But a taxi driver in a VR simulation game would be fantastic. A getaway driver or some type of wheelman, like Baby Driver in VR. Great. Okay, let me try to outrun the cops. I can swivel my head around. I can see where they're coming from. Present me with a challenge and immerse me in the game. All right, I'm going a little bit off topic here. So the last thing that I want to say is I'm going to be doing another E3 predictions, even though they're not having E3 this year, but they are doing it as a video. Again, I've really laid out my thoughts here and my predictions, and I believe it's going to be Forza Motorsport Generation. I think that they're going to have a bigger emphasis on your avatar. I think you'll be able to walk around your garage, look at your cars, possibly talk to your crew chief. They'll talk about, what the tire temps should be for the atmosphere or whatever. Again, they've improved the tires. They've improved the suspension. I think it'll be a stronger focus on simulation. I think they'll focus on race cars. They'll drop all the other cars. They'll try to funnel people into specific genres. Again, like F1 on the road or Indy Car on the oval. And you'll have NASCAR on the oval or GT type cars on the road. And they'll have different lobby system. I think they'll have scheduled races on scheduled tracks. Again, like if you want to do the F1 cars, they'll have a whole F1 season that you can just enter a lobby and race each race on a schedule. That's my opinion, or that's my guess. Okay, guys, I think I've finished everything I wanted to say. Sorry if I forgot anything, but stay tuned for my next Xbox Series X discussion, and I'll ramble on about that. Anyway, thanks for watching.